Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kristen White, clinical psychologist and mom of three, and this is the Mom Degree, where we provide support and tools to help women feel less crazy and more effective in their role as moms. So today I want to talk about what do we do when the house is on fire. Last episode, we discussed just how hard it is to be a mom, and we could keep talking about that. That's like an unending topic. But instead, I want to start shifting to what do we do in response. And the biggest thing we're going to talk about is self-care over a number of episodes of the show. But before we get to parenting, relationships, we'll do it all. But first, we have to talk about, aside from the daily basic self-care, what do we do when the house is already on fire? In other words, what do we do when we're already in crisis mode? Either we've been going so much, we are so on empty that now we're running on fumes and we're in constant overwhelmed meltdown mode, we're on fire, or we're doing okay generally, but we're hitting those moments when our anger flares, our anxiety flares, whatever it is. And in those moments, we're kind of in crisis. We're not just in how do we take care of ourselves on a regular basis, but how do we respond when we are like done, the house is on fire, the house being us. So, for me, I generally am doing okay, but I have those moments when I have discovered actually, well, a little since being married, but even more since having kids, that I have an angry side. It didn't really come out that much before I was married and had kids, but look, lo and behold, the things we find, they are such lovely mirrors to us, these little children of ours. So in those moments, that's what I'm talking about. When our anger flares, our anxiety flares, for me, it's happened a lot around sleep. I really like my sleep, and my kids really hate it. I mean, they hate it. They don't like nap times. They don't like bedtimes. They fight going down. They wake up screaming. I don't know why. All three of them, they are the youngest one, thank God, is the best, but they are not good sleepers. And that can trigger, and it's the middle of the night. I've been woken up for the 8th time. I'm not always the nicest person. My kids know this. In the morning, I've been woken up all night. They'll tell me I'm grumpy. They know I'm not a morning person to begin with. You wake me up all night, it's worse. So what do we do in these moments when the house is on fire? First, let me just tell you, physiologically, in terms of our bodies, there is a good reason that these moments are really hard. And that reason is that basically when we feel really intense emotions, especially anger, but I really think anxiety, any of these other things, when we start feeling really intense emotions, all of the blood starts going to the back of our brain, going down and back basically, in order to respond to the situation. Our body kind of like reacts like, oh my gosh, there's a crisis, right? Something big is happening and we have to respond. And specifically, our body wants to respond by fighting, fleeing, freezing, these things you've heard before. And so all of the blood is going to the really primitive parts of our brain that would allow us to have those responses. Very often body physiological responses to run, to fight, whatever we need to do. Unfortunately, that means this front part of our brain, the prefrontal lobe, where we do all of our good thinking, planning, reasoning, task shifting, empathizing, right? All of that is up here. There's no blood flow. We can't do any of it. So this is why in these moments we don't have, when we're really angry and we're really upset and we're really in meltdown mode, we can't have good conversations with our loved ones, our partners. We can't parent well. Our kids can't hear us well. They can't hear what they've done wrong when they've responded and all the blood is in the back of their brains. Because literally our body, it's like that part of our body, that part of our brain has shut down so we can respond. And that's adaptive if we need to run or fight or whatever. But if we're trying to like communicate clearly, think well, make a plan, our kids, we want them to like hear why they shouldn't have done this and what to do different. We cannot do any of that when we're in those really intense moments. So basically what we have to do in those moments is figure out ways to calm down, to soothe, to tell our body, you don't have to fight, you don't have to flee. Blood, you can come back to the front of our brain. Now we can begin to think, empathize, whatever. We'll get there in parenting, but our kids, they need us to do the same thing. Help them to calm down and soothe so that they can begin to think clearly, and get all this front stuff back online, all these awesome higher functions that we have as human beings. So, how do we do that? 3 ways, okay? I didn't come up with all this, by the way. These are things we know as psychologists, as therapists. So 3 ways I'm going to give you that we can calm the brain and get blood going again so we can think. 5 minutes. Guys, my goal is to keep all of these 5 to 10 minutes. I know you're moms. I know you're crazy. I'm really, really not a concise person. I'm very verbose, but 10 minutes or less. We're going to get in, get out. All right, so we got 3 things we got to cover. Hopefully we don't have to go to a part 2. All right, so number 1, breathe. Breathe. That is the number 1 thing we have to remember to do when the house is on fire. Now, that is not easy because we can't think clearly. So first of all, write yourself a note about this stuff. Stick it to the mirror, put it on your phone, do something so that all you have to do is see the word, have something to trigger you to remember, because it's just remembering can be hard. But then the first thing we do is breathe. Okay? Now, this isn't just any breathing. When we're in those upset moments, we're probably breathing really fast, really shallowly up in our chest. That's not going to help us calm down. So what we need to do is take long, slow, deep breaths. We want to focus on getting the air all the way down into our stomach. So I'm going to close my eyes for a second. We're going to be a little crazy here on video. If you're comfortable at home, go ahead and close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, get comfortable. We got to do this a little quickly, but we're going to do it together. What I want you to do is put your hand on your stomach, and I want you to breathe big, deep breaths. And your goal is to try to get the air all the way down such that it's really in your diaphragm, but you should really be able to feel your stomach rising and falling a little bit. And so I want you to get the air that deep, not up here. This shouldn't rise and fall, all the way down in your stomach, okay? So let's do a couple big deep breaths. I can feel it in my stomach. It's not really your stomach, but you can feel it there if your hand's there. Notice they're deep, they're long, and all the way down to your stomach, okay? I already can feel myself settling. I'm calmer. I wasn't really upset. I was just excited, but I already feel calmer. So that's what we want to do. Big, deep breaths. It might help to count while you're doing them. It might, so that you can make them longer. You might help, like you saw me do, to blow out. In and out, okay? So that's what I want you to do. Big, deep breaths. That sounds silly, but literally, like, you can feel like the front of your head like changes. You can feel the blood coming back there. So that is number 1, is big, deep breaths. When the house is on fire, that is how we calm down. We're going to come back to that in a second. Number 2, distract, okay? When the house is on fire, when we're fighting with our partner, when we're pissed at our kids, when we're anxious about life, whatever it is, those are not the moments we figure out what to do. So in those moments, distract. Go do something else. Take your kids to the park, read a book, turn on the music or the TV, do something to make you laugh, right? Do something to distract yourself, and something that's engaging, right? Something that normally would capture your attention. If you are a reader, this is a great time to get out the book that is going to distract you and help you soothe. If you're not a reader, this is not the time to start, right? Pick the things that are normally engaging and distracting to you and do them for 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever you need, and to do until you're feeling calm again. We're going to come back to these, but number 3 is soothe, okay? So do things, these basically find ways to use your body to soothe. Grab a stress ball, squeeze it, focus on the sensations. Grab some lotion, put it on, feel it really soaking in. feel that sensation. Take a picture, describe. What do you see in terms of colors, shapes? Light a candle, take a bath, do things that involve your five senses and really, really focus in on those senses. Breathe while you're doing it in order to help ground your body in the here and now and calm down. Oh my gosh, I could talk so much more about this, but we're at time. Okay, see, I already told you it was 10 minutes and we're going to go over, but I'm doing my best. So those are the three things that I want you guys to do when the house is on fire. Breathe, distract, calm. Breathe, distract, soothe in order to calm. All right. Your job, your mom challenge this week is to try it, to practice it. And guess what? Ideally, you're going to eventually be doing these things when the house is on fire. But we want to start just by doing them when we're calm. So take some time to practice breathing, good breathing. You can do it with your kids. Lay down on the floor. I don't know how old they are, but get little toys they like, little army men, cars, stuffed animals. Put them on all of your stomachs and see who can get your stomach to rise the biggest. You guys can make a game out of it. If it's distracting, it doesn't have to be alone. If there's someone around to watch your kids, great, but it can be together. Go to the park, turn on a movie, do what you need to do. If it's soothing, maybe they'd love it. Oh my gosh, my kids would dig this. Get out balls. They steal them from my desk all the time anyways. Get out balls and practice squeezing them. Talk about, what does that feel like? What is the texture? What is the sensation? What do you notice in your hand? All right, so I want you to practice, breathe. Each of them you need to practice one time. Breathe, distract, soothe, and don't feel like you have to wait till you're without the kids. Do it with them. That is your mom challenge for this week. Post your questions below in the video or Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Comment, let me know your experiences, and know that all of these are experiments. Just try them out. See what works for you so you can do them also when you're upset. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Don't forget to like my page on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube so you can get more of these videos. I think that's it for now. Much love and many blessings. Until next time on The Mom Degree.